now we've had some changes in the NFL as far as head coaching goes. We got the Raiders adding Pete Carroll, Dallas Cowboys with Brian Schottenheimer. They're bringing him on. Head coach Aaron Glenn has joined the Jets, a team he formerly played for. Now, with the Cowboys naming their coach, that kind of takes our guy, Coach Prime, out of that running for at least right now, for them to be talking about it right now. And it should have him a little bit. And look at Neely saying, no, go ahead, tell me what you're saying, Neely. Talk to me before I even finish. Talk to me.
Anybody who thinks that is not thinking big picture. This thing, from a Deion Sanders perspective, has never been about coaching the Dallas Cowboys. That was Jerry Jones' perspective, was Deion Sanders coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Deion Sanders' perspective was, I'm not interested unless I can coach my sons, plural, somewhere. We're not going to know if his sons end up on the same team until the draft in April. So I would say to people, whereas he won't be coaching the Dallas Cowboys this year, that doesn't mean he won't be coaching somewhere in the NFL next year, because we've yet to see where Shador and Shiloh both land.
Great point there, Big Man. Early in this morning, you're making a great point. For everybody out there listening in, it's not over with yet. There's no contract extension being signed. I was going to get to it. I was going to say, is Coach Prime comfortable, or should I say the people, the collective, I say CU, are they feeling a little bit more comfortable now with some of these roles being filled in the NFL?
They probably are. Like, I can't speak to it because I'm not a member of this AD's group that's doing this contract. But with all the attention having been placed on the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, I would imagine that when Jerry Jones announced he was hiring Schottenheimer, that there was a sigh of relief, in the smoky rooms where these deals are being put together and cut, as far as Coach Prime's extension that he's yet to sign, because he hadn't signed anything yet, because he's yet to have something in front of him that he wants to sign. But I still say at this point, if you listen to what Deion Sanders has said, if you listen to what he's saying, he never said he wanted to coach the Dallas Cowboys. He never said he wanted to coach in the NFL. What he did say was, the only way I would coach in the NFL if there was an opportunity to coach my sons, plural, because the draft hasn't taken place. We still don't know if his sons, plural, are going to be on the same team or not. I think the jury is still in the deliberation room until he either signs an extension or the NFL draft takes place.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think if Colorado were to become a little more smug, maybe that's not the best word. I think smug has a negative connotation. Let's say a little more confident in their ability to sign him without going to the lengths that they probably should. And I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to misspeak. What I will say is this: they'd be a fool to think that there's no opportunity for Coach Prime to go to the NFL in some capacity, whether that be a coaching capacity, whether that be a general manager capacity. Like, he could even be a president, like, where he would have more control over where his sons end up playing. So I think you would be foolish to think that Coach Prime has exhausted all of his resources if he wanted to. He hasn't even started. Like, he is like, I literally told you, like, he's not looking for a job. Can you imagine Coach Prime looking for a job? Like,
right,
I want one. What if he puts out the APB saying, yeah, you know what? I'm going to the NFL. I want one. Somebody bring me on. If he put that out to the point where a team who may not even be in a running for a coach, who has a coach already that says, you know what, we'll bring on Coach Prime as a special assistant to the owner. We'll bring on Coach Prime, and then, they see what happens, and then the next year he becomes head coach. There's a multitude of ways for Coach Prime to be in the NFL, and I think people are so short-sighted because they only think that there's only one way to skin a cat. But that's not his goal. Like, his goal wasn't just the NFL. He was listening based on the situation at hand. Now, as this thing goes further, now I'm not. This is no inside information. This is me reading tea leaves and I could be wrong, but me just thinking about how I would feel. The longer this thing goes, do I start to look around? Do I start to look? Do I start to text? Do I start to call somebody? I'm pretty sure, and I can almost say with confidence, That Coach Prime ain't been looking. But that's your problem. That's the trump card that I don't think that Colorado wants to see Coach Prime play is for him to start looking. Because if he starts looking to relieve, it's something gonna start cooking.
And I love that assessment, Dukes, but I think from the other end, it's already started. We just don't know about it or not. Like, let's keep this in mind. You were told voluntarily that Jerry Jones called Deion Sanders. You were told by Deion Sanders and Jerry Jones that they talked. We don't know who else the hell been calling just because you ain't heard of it.
We don't know what was not told.
As much as we cover everything in this program, everything is not shown or told because everything ain't known to be showed, if that makes sense. So I think that around the league, that when Jerry Jones hired Schottenheimer, it told the other teams, man, Deion is available, because Deion was expressing interest if he could coach both his sons. Hey, you, assistant to the general manager. Hey, you, deputy vice president, player personnel. Y'all go in that side room right there and draw me up a scenario of what would have to happen for us to get Shedeur and Shiloh here to be able to hire Deion Sanders be somewhere between the draft and the start of mandatory mini camp. Y'all go look at the calendar, go look at the salary cap room, go look at everything that would take this make to happen, and have me a plan by 5 p.m. today. You ain't finna tell me that there ain't some teams out there that did just that once Jerry Jones hired Schottenheimer.
And hell, I think the Cleveland Browns should be the first one, even though Coach Prime, it would seem like he wouldn't want to go there or whatever. But if they come with the right deal in the right situation, who knows what can happen. But the point is, what you're saying is, y'all need to be having that discussion at least, especially once y'all saw Jerry Jones sign Schottenheimer. Have that discussion. Tennessee,
I don't know
Cleveland.
this. I don't know this to be the case. This is not inside info. But if Deion Sanders has not signed an extension with Colorado, that leads me to believe that an extension with 2 numbers in front of it has been offered yet. That this offer must be around that 7.5 to 8.5, maybe 9 range, and they're negotiating other stuff. I think if the initial offer was 10.5 or greater, it would be signed by now. So I know if I can assume those things and the way budgets work off my limited knowledge, GMs know more than that. So the NFL has got to be going like, hey, man, we got 14, 15 million to pay a head coach. Yeah, we do. Okay, put that down. Now let's see what we got to trade up to do to get Shedeur.
There you go.
They are having these war room, war draft simulation activities to see what would actually have to happen for this to happen. Ain't nobody sitting around just going, well, it's done now. The Cowboys didn't hire somebody. They going, no. He never said he wanted to coach the Cowboys. He said he'd be open to coaching the NFL if he could coach his sons, plural. Let's see how we can get his sons. You better believe it's being discussed.
Yeah. I know I'd be on it. And NFL ownership is business first. And we've seen the type of business Coach Prime generates. Now, you want to tell me you're going to bring in him and his sons to my NFL organization? That's a win-win right there, no matter where you are. I think that's a win-win.
Yeah. And I think the other mistake that people are making is just only looking at teams who are without a coach. And right now, that only team is the New Orleans Saints. Everybody who had a vacancy has filled that vacancy except the Saints. And they also just lost their offense coordinator. So they're looking for a head coach and an OC now. But I think that's short-sighted as well, because you have a lot of other coaches out there who are on their last year or last 2 years. And just because you ain't fired February 1st don't mean you won't get fired May 1st.
He ain't lying.
And the last thing that we got is Coach Prime could literally say, my son ain't going there.
Trump card.
If he wanted to, like, we've seen this happen before. We ain't playing for that team. We ain't playing for that team. We not signing. We not signing. That man should
and when it happened, I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say when it happened, they didn't go to that team either. It worked.
He can literally say, no, we're not gonna sign. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we're not signing with y'all. We're not signing the y'all. We're not signing with. And then once you get past that first wave of teams that need quarterbacks, then you get into that second wave where teams don't need quarterbacks, and they won't do it. And so then you force yourself into a team with a need. Like I'm telling you, man, it's a million ways to go about this. Like, I'm a Doctor Strange fan. And, if you know anything about the Marvel movies, man, it was 14 million scenarios. Dig what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you cannot count out a guy like Coach Prime when it comes to handling or negotiating a situation that he feels like is best for his family, not just his sons, but his family as a whole. And so what if it is the Saints opening? I see a path. There is a path for the Saints to get Shedeur.
Let me tell you this. There's an easy path for them to get him because, one, they sorry as hell and they're picking early. Like, so that part is just that simple. And then you make some fancy trades here and there and you got it done. So it's very feasible, for that to happen. And I just think, man, for people to have ruled this out just because the Cowboys have hired a coach, y'all be hearing, but y'all ain't listening.
Yeah.
That man never said it was about the Dallas Cowboys. He said it was about coaching his sons. And if his sons can end up on the same team somewhere, the same likelihood and opportunity for him to coach there can happen. And Dukes, to what you were saying, you are exactly right and spot on. You count out people that don't nobody want, and that don't nobody want them. When you have something that everybody wants, you ain't worried about it. The value only going up, not down.
Mm-hmm.